Since the vanilla Hellcat came out, I've been a fan. In my view, the Hellcat and the P365 are the go-to guns in this segment of pistol. Springfield kicked it up a notch with the RDP or Rapid Defense Package version of the Hellcat that came from the box with a dot and a compensator. Now, Springfield has nearly completed the set with the Hellcat Pro, the longer gripped, longer barreled version of the Hellcat with an updated trigger. Are you ready? Stand by. Welcome back to the Humble Marksman channel, the only gun channel here on YouTube that's like commuting to work in a Tesla that eats other Teslas.
He just turned my car into a convertible. Woohoo!
I'm David, and this is the Springfield Armory Hellcat Pro. Now, a concealed carry gun is a remarkably personal choice, and I know that some of you are already typing your comment to say, that's just the same size as a compact, why not carry my Glock 19? I know you guys, you do that. One of you was typing that. So what a gun in this category has is basically it's skinnier, it's easier to carry, and it's a little bit lighter. So depending on where you fall on the spectrum of like comfort to capability, this is somewhere closer to capability and not say all the way over here with like an LCP in your pocket. For me, this is remarkably close to an optimum size concealed carry pistol. My daily carry is a 6-hour P365 XL, the bigger version, because I think this size of pistol is about the right size, at least for me. So let's take a look at the Pro. But first, have you subscribed to the channel and or validated that YouTube hasn't unsubscribed you? Because that's a thing. I'm trying to reach 100,000 subscribers this year, and I'd really appreciate it if you could help me in that quest. Additionally, if you'd like more content, there's behind the scenes stuff available over on my Patreon page where you can get basically all access to the stuff that I'm working on and some of my performance things. And additionally, to my manual reviewer, it's been a while guys, how are you? This is totally stock out of the box. This is exactly how they sent it to me. This has the Hex Wasp sight mounted on it. It's in the product literature that came in the box. It's on the website. This is a holographic sight. This is okay by your rules now. So you can go Eeyore on somebody else's video.
Nothing to do.
So what has changed about the Pro that makes it different from the OG Hellcat? Well, I kind of touched on it. The grip is longer. It has higher capacity as a result. The barrel is longer, so the slide is longer as a result. The trigger has been upgraded, but what does all that actually mean? For the people who have Hellcats, is it worth upgrading their pistol based on all that stuff? Well, the longer grip does mean that you get more leverage on the pistol from your pinky, and that's where a lot of recoil control comes from, especially when shooting one-handed. The longer barrel is dangerously close to 4 inches long, at least close enough to where you'll be getting the same velocities roughly as a 4-inch gun to get reliable expansion from hollow points designed for duty use. Now the trigger being updated, and you can tell that it's updated because there's a little over travel stop that's molded into the frame so the throw of the trigger is reduced slightly. Pulling it in a vacuum, I didn't even notice it. I just pulled it and I was like, this is about the same as the other Hellcat that I have. And putting them side by side, it's not. Like the trigger has been upgraded. Whether it's exploitable or not, it's tough to say. It's still about a 6-pound trigger, which is appropriate for the segment of gun that this is competing with, but that's a little bit heavy and this gun is a little bit light. Now, I don't have a 1/900 number, but I would bet that future versions of the Hellcat will feature this exact same trigger because why would you continue making it? But you'll have to consult your psychic on that one. I'm not Miss Cleo.
That's him, that's the daddy.
And it's probably worth mentioning the Hex Wasp sight that came mounted on this gun. I think it's been updated from the version 1 that came on the Hellcat RDP where they introduced the sight. The sight had a little bit of almost like a flicker on the first version that I had. I mean, it was usable. The auto adjuster actually worked quite well. But on this version of the sight, it is significantly steadier, like there's no flicker at all, and the auto adjuster is faster and it's a little bit more generous with the amount of dot that it gives you, where this auto adjuster actually works very well and I would really consider carrying it because it's so squared away. I mean, I carried the old Hellcat with the Hex Wasp on it too, and it's fine, honestly, but this is improved and I prefer this one. So what does all that mean, all these fancy new whiz-bang features as it relates to the pistol? Is it a better shooting gun than the shorter grip, shorter barrel version of the Hellcat? Yes, I think that it is. It's significantly easier to shoot, and more importantly, it's easier to get out of a holster. Since I'm a legitimate media enterprise, that's what we're calling it now, Since I'm a legitimate media enterprise, I got one of the launch versions sent to me by Springfield Armory, and in the kit there was a holster, so I got to do some practice from the concealment. I actually carried the gun for a while preparing this review for you guys, and I can say that the gun carries very well, and more importantly, the longer grip gives you a bigger target to get your hand down on when you're getting the gun out of the holster. Like if you miss your grip on a longer grip gun, it's less bad than on a shorter grip gun. If you miss your grip on a short grip gun, it's really bad when you go to shoot. It's still not great, but it's significantly better with a bigger grip. Additionally, they can use a longer recoil spring, and you'll see that the recoil spring still does come out the front almost to the level with the edge of the barrel. It almost works as like a standoff device of sorts. Like if you push straight into an object like that, then it's not going to knock the slide out of battery. However, if you push down onto the barrel, it will slightly knock the slide out of battery. It'll still go off because the standoff device is kind of there, but the more you know. Kind of a neat feature.
And knowing is half the battle.
As I mentioned, the trigger is upgraded, and I honestly prefer it. The wall of the trigger was moved further to the rear. It's less of a rolling brake. It's still a rolling brake because that's what most striker-fired guns are, and this is no exception. But it's less of a rolling brake, and the wall is firmer, so it's a more predictable trigger. Pulling at about 6 pounds, that's still a good trigger weight for a gun like this. It gives you a lot of trigger feedback. However, at 6 pounds on a gun that weighs about 21 ounces, without any ammunition, it's very easy to pull the muzzle off target. But the ergos of the trigger face, where the wall is, and how far it goes after you pull the trigger, it does support accuracy on the gun, and as a result, I had no problem shooting this gun at 25 yards and beyond. The recoil impulse, since the slide is longer, that makes it a little bit heavier than the OG version, and there is kind of like an optimum weight for a non-compensated pistol on a 9mm gun. This puts the slide weight closer to what that weight would be than the little short compact slides, because those things are just like, there's not a lot of mass moving there, so you feel all the energy and recoil. This is a little bit less, although you can certainly feel it. The grip, I think the grip is one of the best in the segment. It's not the best in the segment, and I'll tell you why. It's due to geometry. However, the texture, I will give it to it. The texture Springfield uses on these grips is absolutely outstanding. It is the most aggressive. It doesn't feel so bad when you just rub against it, but when you actually put a squeeze on it, it bites you back in a way that allows you to stay planted on the gun, and it's really appreciated. The one thing keeping this gun away from having the best ergos in the class is it's got kind of a blocky grip, which is great across the front because it creates this beautiful ledge that you can put a lot of force onto when trying to stabilize your little itty-bitty carry gun. However, it's blocky across the back too, and what that means is there's a ridge right here on your strong side that will become very obvious when you're shooting the gun. A lot of people have complained about the original Hellcats being harder to shoot than other guns in the segment. They're not harder, it's just creating a hot spot right there on this kind of boxy corner along the back of the gun. It's not that big a deal. I wouldn't hesitate at all to carry this gun. It did not bother me in the slightest about it. It's something that I noticed, but it wasn't a big deal. And in the name of completeness, we have to talk about the iron sights. Now, the iron sights that come on the gun do co-witness through an optic, and there is a high-vis front with a tritium vial for a night sight, so you can find the gun in your safe, and they basically disappear when you're looking through the glass of the optic at your target like you're supposed to do. But I have to say, it's a U-notch rear sight with a little white bar printed around the U, and I really like it as a sight picture. As much as I crap on 3-dot sights, something about the little U-notch and the circular ball on the front sight, it's just an intuitive sight system, and I have a lot of luck with it. It's pretty good. And of course, the gun will come with 2 polished stainless steel 15-round magazines from Springfield Armory. I really like these stainless magazines. Now, you're probably going to want to load them with like an Uplula mag loader, because like these little springs are really, really tight and you will wear out your thumbs trying to load this on the feed lip. So Uplulas are useful if you're going to be shooting more than about 50 to 100 rounds. I would say it's pretty much a must-have in any serious shooter's range bag. I don't care if you think your thumb calluses are somehow cooler than mine. I've got them too. It's just I like using Uplulas. And as I mentioned, as far as carrying the gun is concerned, this is, in my opinion, an optimum sized carry gun. And for all the reasons that I mentioned, like you can draw this gun from the holster about like you could draw a compact like Glock 19 sized pistol, but because the slide is skinnier, and if you look at the side-by-side footage from this M&P 2.0 compact, you'll see that the gun is dimensionally just, it's a lot smaller. Like you don't think it's that big when you just look at them like this on the company's website, but when you actually get them next to each other, these guns are significantly smaller than a compact sized pistol. pistol. Does that mean these guns are as easy to shoot as a compact? No, not at all. The Pro is not at all as comfortable to shoot as the M&P 2.0 compact. The M 2.0 would be a better range toy do-all type gun than this, which is more pigeonholed as a concealed carry gun. However, if you still only had to get one gun, something that's this size could flex into that recreational type space better than like the little 3.1 inch micro guns. I know for some of you, you're looking at the 15 round grip thinking, golly, there's no way I could carry a gun that's that big. Fair enough, since I may or may not be the illegitimate child of Andre the Giant.
No more rhymes now, I mean it.
Anybody want a peanut?
I don't have an issue concealing this gun, but I will say the 15 round magazine with the flush mount grip, like the back part of the grip right here, does contribute to printing, especially if you were to carry it on like a strong side in a holster. But in the appendix position, it prints more than like the sloped rear that comes on like the 365 XL. It's not a lot more noticeable, but it is noticeable if you're in like a deep concealment type environment. So where does that leave us on the Pro? I like the Pro, guys. I think this size gun is fantastic. I think the implementation of this gun is very, very good. Pretty much everything about this pistol, including the price point, I think they're selling for about $600, but the $600 version doesn't come with the Hexawasp optic. It's pretty awesome. So I can put my seal of approval, if that means anything at all to you guys, on the Pro. It's pretty awesome. If you'd like to see me shoot it against the Hellcat RDP, you're gonna have to subscribe to the channel and come back, because I've already filmed that video and my patrons will get to see it first. But if not, you can check out this video on the Hellcat RDP that I've already made. I appreciate you guys, and I will catch you on the next one. Thanks, guys.